when you come home and you're just mentally exhausted because you're eating crap and not living right, you're not moving at all, you're not physically taking care of the body that God has given to you, you can't be mentally your best, which means you're going to overreact when the kids are, being kids, when you're in traffic, you're just not mentally as strong. You're exhausted and you're tired and you're weaker there. You're not going to be great sexually. You're not going to be great relationally. You're not going to be great, in any area of your life. You're not going to be the exact man that God meant for you to be when those things are disconnected. And so a lot of times now, like in my own journey and helping men in theirs, I'll say, like, do you want to change your life? Just start taking a walk down the road. Do like the bare minimum. I think this might have come from conversations I had with you of like, just start with what you could do. Like you could do 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups and walk down the road and back. That was literally my starting point with you. Yeah. And I think it was the opening gate of like, okay, well, I could at least do that, as crappy as I feel. Like, so I think a lot of times, like when a guy comes to you, and he's mean, like, let's just say that some guy listening is just like, man, that is me. I'm apathetic. I'm lazy. I'm overweight. I'm just exhausted. Like, how do you help somebody who comes in and sits down with you? They reach out to you from listening to this and they say, like, just help me get started.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent question. I do want to back up real quick to the previous question. Sure. Just because I want to make sure I'm clear in what I'm saying. I don't want to come off or anyone to hear like, if you feel like maybe life has caught up, and because I mean, you've shared your story. I've been there too, Nate. I mean, it's not like I've done this perfectly. I mean, part of why I've arrived where I'm arrived is because I have learned along the way the struggle, right?
Sure.
I mean, 5 kids, going to medical school and then working in medicine, right? Like life gets away from you really, really fast. And so I was doing all of those things with the intention of providing for my family, which is what I'm called to do. So I don't want to leave anyone here with what I just said that, if you feel this way, you're doing these things that, you're somehow a terrible man or you're in blatant sin, right? Or something like that. It's just, I think sometimes it's good to pause and look at some of the priorities that we're looking at and saying, okay, how can I maybe do this better so that I can be more optimized in both my physical and spiritual health there. So I think it's important to look at that. I don't want to be, the browbeater, over condemning someone because they feel like they're overwhelmed and physically beat down because they're literally trying to do the right thing. They just don't know how to get out of it. Right. So I don't want that to be the message that people come away with today.
Yeah, excellent. But loud and clear.
I think it's a good foundation to kind of, see it through. As far as your question though, like for that person who feels that way, right? Like how do we get out of that, right? Like how do we get out of this negative cycle, right? Because it oftentimes feeds itself. I think a lot of times it's what you just said. It's do what you can. I don't think this has to be brain surgery. Where it can get confusing is in the day of information, social media, where there's so much out there, right? It's hard to know what's right. What's the, who should I listen to? What program should I follow?
Yep.
And a lot of these things do tend to be cookie cutter.
Hope you're enjoying the show so far. And if you are, please do me a big favor and simply get engaged in a simple way. For you, that might be clicking the like button or maybe subscribing to the show. For others, it may be commenting on a show that really stands out to them, or maybe it's just copying the URL and texting it to a friend, or pasting that into your social media, or sharing it via text, whatever it is. All of those things make a huge difference for us, and it helps us to reach more Christian men who are trying to live bigger and better lives. So, number one, thank you for being a listener, and thank you for being a part of this community and part of this show. We appreciate it more than you know, and we appreciate you getting engaged and helping us out. Thanks so much.